Laura, a green card holder, even if I might like that green card holder, doesn't have an indefinite right to be in the United States of America, right? American citizens have different rights from people who have green cards, from people who have student visas. And so my attitude on this is, this is not fundamentally about free speech. And to me, yes, it's about national security, but it's also more importantly about who do we, as an American public, decide gets to join our national community? And if the Secretary of State and the President decide this person shouldn't be in America and they have no legal right to stay here, it's as simple as that.
What are the rights of green card holders? What's happening with the immigration the way that we used to it over the last decade? We are living in 2025 through a cultural shift. Trump won big on immigration, which causes a big wave of new immigration policies, tough on immigration policies. And it's not just Trump. So if you are an immigrant with a green card, without a green card, doesn't matter. This video is important for you to watch so you can understand where the American immigration is heading in the next 8 to 12 years. My name is Vyacheslav Chupligin. I am the CEO of Our America. I am an immigrant myself. I've been living in immigration. I've been working in immigration for over 10 years. And our company, Our America, we help green card holders prepare for US citizenship interview and become US citizens. So this video is just my opinion, my prediction of where things are going over the next 8 to 12 years in immigration. Okay, so this is the Gallup poll, right? On immigration. In your view, should immigration be kept at its present level, increased or decreased? Let's look at the trends. So this line here, it's talking about decreased. Okay, you see a very recent rapid shift from 2020 to 2024, June. We have a huge increase in people thinking that the immigration must be decreased. And at the same time, people that think that it needs to be increased, obviously, there's a lot less people that think that we need to increase the immigration, and there's a lot less people that think that we need to keep it at present levels either. That's also declining. Trump created such a consensus among American people on immigration based on his ideas and policies that future Republicans and Democrats will echo his ideas in the future. And if you think, no way, Democrats are pro-immigration, they will come and they will save us and they will protect us. Well, let's just look at this. Let's look at Bill Clinton, the Democratic president, in 1995 address to the State of the Union.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace, as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
And let's look at Donald Trump in 2025, Republican president, address to the Union.
Not being allowed to stay and create tremendous numbers of jobs and great success for a company out there. So while we take out the criminals, killers, traffickers, and child predators who are allowed to enter our country under the open border policy of these people, the Democrats, the Biden administration, the open border insane policies that you've allowed to destroy our country, we will now bring in brilliant, hardworking, job-creating people. They're going to pay a lot of money, and we're going to reduce our debt with that money.
Wow, can you spot the difference? Bill Clinton was a Democratic president in 1995 and Donald Trump is a Republican president in 2025, so 30 years apart, but basically echoing the same message. And I argue that Democrats, who are historically more pro-immigration, right, they care more about power and winning than saving immigrants. So if it's not popular, if it's not the consensus of the general public, that, we should be lenient with immigrants, they're not going to be lenient with immigrants. In fact, it is becoming very popular to be tough on immigration and be vocal about it because of the shift in the public opinion these days. Okay, think about public opinion as a pendulum. It swings one way and it swings another way. And somewhere in the middle, a little bit this way is reasonable and a little bit that way is reasonable. But the pendulum doesn't swing like that. It swings all the way here and it swings all the way there. And as it comes to the immigration, let's say here, nobody is welcome. And let's say here, everybody is welcome, all the way on this side. Where do you think America is at the moment? They're probably at the point where everybody is welcome. Because we've been seeing the politicians, we've been seeing these ideas that everyone deserves an American dream. Everybody's welcome here. It is the responsibility of America to save and protect refugees and people all over the world. Come to United States of America, right? We've also seen politicians go on the podium and say that immigration is one of the biggest drivers of the economy.
And I know it's not always how we think about this. But another engine of strong growth should be comprehensive immigration reform. Bringing millions of hard-working people into the formal economy would increase our gross domestic product by an estimated $700 billion over 10 years.
By the way, Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are husband and wife, so maybe they don't agree on everything. Or maybe they just say whatever is popular in the public opinion in that moment. Could that be the case? And by the way, it doesn't mean that one position is right and the other position is wrong. It doesn't mean that one way is more morally superior than the other one. We are right now in this video just looking at the trends and where this pendulum is swinging, so that we understand the public opinion and where the immigration is going. Now let's look at the facts where America is today. We've had over 20 million people, illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, come to the United States over the last 4 years. Undocumented illegal means that they didn't come through a traditional way of a visa or a green card application that we are used to. We've also seen some of these immigrants commit crimes, right? Not all of them are outstanding members of this society, and we've seen commit them violent crimes. And these crimes are being highlighted by Republicans and this guy named Donald Trump. So how many times have you seen Donald Trump during presidential campaign and even now as a president talk about the illegal immigrants pouring through the border, they're coming from jails, they're coming from insane asylums, mental institutions.
They're coming from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums.
Okay, and the most important fact here is that he won big. He won big on this issue, on the immigration. So people, doesn't matter if they consider themselves Democrat or they consider themselves Republican, they support this idea, they support this issue that we need to be tougher on immigration, that we need to enforce the immigration law, that we need an immigration reform, maybe, of the way that we do immigration in general in America. And what this means is that Donald Trump recently, just now, we're living through this, shifted the public opinion, which means he shifted the direction of this pendulum swing. And what it means that the pendulum is going to be swinging in a different direction. And usually when a pendulum swings, it swings all the way to a different direction, beyond the reasonable range. So that's why I believe that in the next 8 to 12 years, we're going to see a tough on immigration policies that are going to be enforced. And it's going to be tougher to get your green card. It's going to be tougher to go from a green card to citizenship. And I've heard people say that, okay, well, Donald Trump, yes, he's going to be tough on immigration. These 4 years are going to be more difficult for any immigrant in any immigration process that they're in. But in 4 years, we're going to have a different president and everything is going to go back to normal. And that's really not the case because, again, Donald Trump shifted the public opinion, and Democrats specifically, who are most people, thinking about that, going to be more lenient and going to help the immigrants. This is not going to be the hill that the Democrats is going to die on. They're going to give up some positions. They're going to give up some ideas because they need to move policies and ideas that will resonate with an American citizen, with an American voter. And right now, this is a big popular idea that we need to be tough on immigration. So the Democrats themselves, they're gonna also push the ideas to be more tough on immigration. If again you don't believe me, let's look at the specific situation of California in 1994, right? If we think of California today, what are we thinking about? Well, it's not even arguable, it's the most pro-immigration state in the United States of America. They have sanctuary cities that are not really even cooperating with the federal government, which technically breaks the law. But in 1994, did you know that California was passing the anti-immigration law? Let's look at this. Believe it or not, in the early 1990s, California was actually in the heart of anti-immigration movement, anti-immigration laws. Not all Californians were anti-immigration, but the majority was, and that sparked the governor campaigns and the anti-immigration law called 187, Prop 187. And ultimately what it did, it was proposed to deny any public services to undocumented illegal immigrants and actively seek them out and deport them, which is something that we are seeing today. But to think about that the California was at the heart of it is actually like almost thinking that the world is upside down, because California right now is the biggest proponent of the immigration. That's why I'm saying that, you know, you can't just think of the Democrats or certain states as the safe haven for immigrants, because they just gonna flip to where the wind is blowing. So actually in 1994, California voters approved the Prop 187 by 59% to 41 margin that voted against it. Ultimately, then the law was stricken down by the Supreme Court because it was considered unconstitutional. But we are looking at it as a public opinion that in California, it used to be more popular to be anti-immigrant than pro-immigrant. So what are we as immigrants to do in today's political climate and, you know, the way that the immigration is trending? Just step the same way that we are stepping. It doesn't matter what immigration process you're in. You're applying for a visa, you're adjusting your status, you're trying to get your green card, or you're going from a green card to US citizenship. First of all, it would be wise to act now. If you can act now, you should go through the process so you can finish your immigration and become one of the Americans and, you know, leave this behind you forever. Because still today, all the policies, everything that is in place in immigration, in USCIS, is favoring the immigrants. I also don't think that it's a good position to complain and, you know, think that the US government owes you anything. They really don't. And, you know, looking at, you know, the J.D. Vance, what he said at the beginning of the video, they can change their policies, they can change their opinions anytime. But what's not changed is that America is still the nation of immigrants. That's still the case. So, believe it or not, I think that the system is set up for an immigrant to win. If you come here, they want you to come here. America wants you to come here. They want you to stay here. You need to understand the way the Americans do things, the way the America plays the game, so to say. And you need to play by their rules. And if you respect the country, if you respect the American way of doing things, you're gonna win. You're gonna have your American dream, you're gonna become a citizen, and you will be able to build your life here. So I'm curious what you think about it. If you have a different opinion, again, this is just my prediction. I've been in immigration, I've been living and working in immigration for over 10 years. This is just my prediction of where things are heading over the next 8 to 12 years. If you have a different opinion, please put it in the comments. I'm very interested what you think. Either way, I wish you good luck in your immigration and God bless America.